like those like full clear light worlds can actually be pretty interesting to watch, but also kind of frustrating to play.
Oh, that's for sure. We are getting started right now. Freddeh and Cfalcon are going to get out of bed and get back to work, you lazy bums. And we will find in this first chest a big 20 to start us off. So just a little bit of cash to get us going today.
Yeah, not much for our runners just yet.
That is the second time that Freddeh has done that early map check that I just was far too fast for me to even see. Oh my goodness.
It's interesting that you just do it. I mean, you've got to do it eventually. So why not just do it right away? While if you got a tracker, like this walk is just ingrained in your brain. There's no enemies to fight, so it's probably the best time to mark it real quick. We do get to start with blue cane.
Oh baby, Zelnus, is this your favorite weapon or not?
It is actually my favorite weapon. If not even just because I had my very strange blind fight where even the devs were like, well, we didn't know that was a thing you could do. But also because it's just a really cool weapon.
Well, I'm not as much of a fan of it, but I do like its unique characteristics. Particularly, you get to see if the runners are aware that, you know, when enemies get knocked back by it, they get knocked back upwards always. So
yep,
something to watch here. But meanwhile, catching back up on that map check, it was Eastern Palace and Desert, both crystals. Hera also a crystal, one of the 5 sixes. So all of the light world being crystals, yeah, there is a decent possibility of that lengthy moon pearl search potentially. I guess really crystal dependence doesn't matter in that regard actually, but
well, the day we see 3 light world crystals and we haven't found the moon pearl by 20 minutes is a seed you need to worry about.
Alright, well, Falcon having a little bit of extra magic expenditure on that first guard. Not too bad because right now they do appear to be even. He gets a drop to even make up for it. But yeah, they had the same magic count before that, so actually it's going pretty much the same for both of them. And as you see, they're basically neck and neck here. Burn is a weapon that's pretty hard to lose a substantial amount of time with, but you know, you can still see little differences between runners who are very confident and runners who are just a little confident.
Yeah, the big thing is that if you don't know, the use in it uses twice as much magic as just keeping it on. So you've got to be very careful about not wasting your energy.
Yeah, that's correct. It's 1/8 of your magic bar, the same as a fire rod shot, basically, to activate it once. So you really want to make sure you're activating it the fewest number of times possible. Freddeh getting a little bit roughed up by the guard there, but not too bad. And I expect you'll see both runners make use of 2 pots on this ball and chain guard to save the magic.
If you are using 100% optimal strats on this, like in this, you actually use 1 pot. You can use 1 pot, and Cane of Burna kills it. You have exactly enough magic to finish it with just 1 pot. But that requires you to know exactly when to turn on and turn off your Cane of Burna, and decent enemy movement as well.
Yeah, you don't see too many runners risk that either, just because it's not even too worth it. The cost of doing 2 pots is pretty minimal. We did see Cfalcon pick up a bomb inside the room, well, outside Zelda's cell, I suppose.
Yep.
And that will be very nice for him. But Freddeh's not gotten his yet, and it should be on that guard prize pack. So I think there's a pretty good chance he will find it before too long. I think he actually despawned one of the prize drops there by knocking it off his screen.
Yeah, that can happen. Things really, it's kind of weird. Like the game both works, like with some things are constantly moving even in different rooms due to super tiles. Other times, some things just can't even exist slightly outside of the screen you're on. Like for example, most of your weapons don't work off screen at all.
Yeah, there's usually a small margin where a projectile traveling off screen will be able to do something. As a Freddeh being aware that there's a small magic pot in that under that pot there to the left, so he picks it up, get a little bit of refill. Cfalcon does not need that at the moment. He's pretty good on his magic counter. And Freddeh will also opt to kill all these rogues and get no bombs here, so he's still bombless. Piece of heart hanging out here in the Dark Cross. And Cfalcon coming up on the Key Rat, which fortunately is a pretty straightforward enemy to deal with the Cane of Burna.
Yeah, Freddeh is probably going to be hoping that the Key Rat... Oh, he's actually going to grab this magic here, and he gets the drop off of the rat. So different drop, actually, compared to the one that Cfalcon did, because these are two different drop pools.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if all the rats kind of crowded towards him, he could have gotten possibly a bomb that way, but none of them are on the left side.
Meanwhile, Cfalcon gets a replacement bomb drop from his the one that blows up the wall, so that's pretty nice. Freddeh not getting the same courtesy, but they do pick up these 3 chests, and there's a bunch of rupees, but not a whole lot to speak of otherwise. Now we'll see whether Freddeh opts to do his new meta that he is trying to institute. In the last round, after leaving the escape and getting the sanctuary, he actually save and quit to Link's house and skipped Kakariko and went to the South Shore instead. And he ended up doing Kakariko from the south route. So I'll be interested to see if he tries to do that particular route again here.
I have seen that. I have seen that in open. It looks like that is what he's doing. I've seen people avoid Kakariko as much as possible in open, hoping for 2 things, and that is bombs. Or sorry, oh, it looks like he's actually going to go farm bombs this way, through going south. So he's doing the south route where he gets guaranteed bombs. That's also a pretty good route.
Sort of guaranteed. Meanwhile, we're seeing red rupees from this tree pole, which are nice, but we did just get 300, so they're not that nice. And the crab, well, we're not going to find out what he has.
And actually rolled the 50-50 twice. Got the bombs from both tree pole or bush poles, so
very nice.
He can get free bombs this way. Oh, there's the hook shot. Okay.
That's a very nice item to start with.
Yeah.
That's going to make that overall traversal much quicker.
It also opens up Death Mountain once we find a glove or a flute. There's a few other places, but it's a very useful item to have.
Speaking of useful items,
sword.
That is a sword in the Lost Woods for Cfalcon, so Freddeh will be getting up there at the opposite end of this trip, and Falcon will be getting to the maze at the opposite end of his trip, so they're going to kind of cross paths a little bit. We also saw that the Lumberjack Ledge was just a piece of heart, so while we may still need Aghanim for Dark World access, we won't need the Lumberjack Cave at least. I think Cfalcon might have set up for the 4-kill tree pull as well, and it does turn out to just be small magic decanters, which I guess is a little bit useful, actually.
Early boots! There's the Moon Pearl! So we're gonna get boots in Light World.
That's something. That's a real turnaround from last seed.
So I hate to say earlier I mentioned that there was a possibility that we could see Moon Pearl trolling us. Now it could be both the boots and the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend very heavily on how quickly those boots do show up. But we could be traipsing through all 3 Light World dungeons just to find them, potentially. Again, depending on how silly the seed ends up being. So we're going to see them meet up at the chicken house here. Falcon checking the chest in the back, and it's just a 5er for him, and Freddeh will pick it up as well. He also stopped by the shop to pick up bombs. I would definitely not be surprised to see Falcon do that. He actually even skipped the Thieves' Hut and well to do this first so that he could get this shop visit out of the way. So this is a pretty interesting route for him, but should work out, I think, fairly well. We're already seeing in chat people coming up with troll locations for those boots. You guys are mean, man.
Yeah, let's like see. Oh, Cfalcon's got to be. So what I would have recommended Cfalcon do, it would be slightly faster, save a little bit of travel time. If he were to have gone all the way to the race game to check it, and then walked back up here, he could have saved and quitted up here, and saved a little bit of walk-in time. It's not a big deal, but it is a small thing that could have been optimized in his route in.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you get these awkward Kakariko routes with few bombs, and it becomes really weird to deal with, and you don't often have a good plan for that. We did find the silver arrows inside this well, which Falcon picks up right now, so those are a great find, or at least will be, when we get the bow to go along with them. Unfortunately, hi, okay, wow.
Okay, so we have Master Sword.
Already. Well, you know what that means, Elmas.
Well, we don't have the lamp just yet, but boots on pyramid. Somebody guessed it. We might have to. Oh, there's a hammer. Wow. So we actually, when we find the gloves, we'll have All of Hera opened up already.
Yeah, that's very, very quick for that. But I know we'll see what transpires. It might not give those to us for a long time. It might give us flute immediately. Who knows? But Freddie, meanwhile, he's completing his route to the north here. He's going to head up to the Lost Woods. Unfortunately, he won't be able to get the full payoff from this. His goal here is to be able to route in, go from Lost Woods directly to the Death Mountain entrance. And if you have Power Glove and you're able to do that, that's a pretty good time savings. But unfortunately, in this case, you won't be able to do it. But overall, still, this route works out pretty well.
And Freddie, double take.
Kind of like when you go to the race game and you see that vital item and you're about to save and quit, and you're like, no, wait. All right, see, Falcon sees that Moon Pearl, so he knows the true depths of this seed now, and then he'll start to perceive that. He actually just goes directly into the race game, so he's going to be very handsomely rewarded with a hook shot for this.
Yeah, I generally just go straight into the race game myself. I don't know, it feels like whatever, one bomb. It's a little bit more, the bomb is a little bit more valuable in open mode because the chance of finding a usable weapon is a little bit rarer.
Freddie getting a little bit trolled by that hookshot clip that he attempted, just not quite pulling it off, so he's going to have to come back in to pick up that chest. But we will see what's in the drained dam. It is
just a full heart. They've already got 6, so it'll be pretty. Oh, he gets the clip that time when it matters a little bit less.
Yeah, I would definitely take this at this point. You got 6 hearts. You might as well just push it up to 7. You don't know if you're even going to see another heart in the entire rest of the seed. This could be like the jettiest of jet seeds, and you're just like on 8 hearts total, and you're already in go mode. So Freddie goes ahead and follows that particular logic. He'll continue on the mini Moldorm Cave.
Luckily has the hook shot, makes quick work of the mini Moldorms.
Yeah, one of the nicest weapons to have in here for sure. It's a full heart container, 21 rupees, 10 arrows. I'll make that 41 rupees. Not a very, very nice mini Moldorm Cave today. Alright, he's gonna go ahead and continue making the walk. He knows with that Moon Pearl on the bookshelf, I'm guessing that both runners will be less reticent to go check these one-off, far off locations.
You know where one of the most important items in the rando is, so you have to check literally everything in Light World because you don't want to skip that one off, do literally everything else, and then have to go all the way back.
I think in particular as well, we saw from the previous match, both runners have really good execution, but I'd say the edge goes to Freddie by just a little bit, and he probably is aware of that. He's probably watched some Cfalcon's play, so I'm guessing that he's thinking, I might be able to take advantage of that edge a little bit and make sure I'm more comprehensive in my checks.
Yeah, and comprehensiveness really comes. You'll notice like how much they've practiced, say, overworld or room movement when they're checking these one-off locations. Like how quickly do they react to the random enemies? Like, do they know where the best place to throw the bomb from, or even starting the bomb pickup is something that you'll see a lot of runners. Um, they'll like start the bomb really close, but you can start it pretty far away.
Yeah, exactly. Many little things that you can save time on over the course of a randomizer. And some of them are just like that. The bomb drop can be really hard to even notice, but it's a pretty important thing. There it is, Freddie dropping his like right inside the door here, so it'll save a little bit of time compared to if you walk all the way past Sahasra and then drop.
Oh, there's
That's
their
a flute.
flute. So that's Death Mountain completely open, and Freddy's gonna save in here. Not even gonna bother checking Eastern Palace just yet. Now, again, that's probably purely because of the flute. I think he would have gone otherwise, but that flute opens up roughly 12 to 14 locations on Death Mountain, including Hera and everything else. So um, it's you just gotta go.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that with this play here. Activate that flute and move on. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Cfalcon do exactly the same play. We'll see. He did actually, we talked to him really quickly between the two races. We did see him say that if you were going to change anything, it might be his approach to Eastern Palace because of how that kind of bit him last time. Now, this is a different situation. It is a crystal, so he might want to put it off. And yeah, he does save it.
Yeah, again, this is such a crazy... Like, finding the flute there, like, completely changes. I, somebody who prefers to just hit things as fast as possible, and never leave things, like, I would have done Eastern here, but even the flute would send me away. It's just so important.
Now, Freddeh has picked up a bottle, so he acquired that in the dam, and he will go trade that, well, not trade it, show it to the sick kid, who says, thanks for the complete lack of medicine, but here's a big 20 for your troubles. And now I'd expect we're heading to Death Mountain, as you've said. Yep.
And check inside the dark cave. Pretty easy cave to navigate, especially with your sword.
Yeah, you can get through here just holding down directions for like certain amounts of time, and using some pretty simple visual cues, and especially with the sword sparkles, it is very straightforward.
Apparently, if you are consistent enough with your movement, you can actually do an audio cue based on walk-in, as what I've been told. Some runners will actually move, and then the moment they hear the da-da in the song is when they know that they have to turn. Apparently, that works.
Clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I don't use that kind of thing myself because the sword beams or sword sparklers are just so easy, but that makes a lot of sense. Freddeh, of course, continuing up now, got 300 more rupees for the old man. You got to start thinking about Zora when you're seeing this much money, even though it's not technically included in the logic for Zora. Zora's just considered available as soon as you have gloves or flippers. But it does, like, as soon as you start having that money, you start thinking about it because you can actually do it.
Yeah, and now with the Moon Pearl, that does disincentivize them unless they find the gloves, just because the Moon Pearl will give them access to 2 additional chests.
Well, nothing inside Spectacle Rock is just a piece of heart. There's 300 more rupees on top, which they of course can't get because no mirror, but Freddeh will go ahead and continue over to the east, having checked Spectacle Rock. Falcon just following the exact same path. He's only a little bit behind Freddeh. That early route just saving Freddeh a little bit of time, but probably more just due to the weirdness of Falcon having to kind of double back across Kakariko to get those bombs. Certainly nothing insurmountable at this stage.
Okay, and nothing in the Bumble wall.
Use some sword beams here on these mini mold arms. Always a great strat. Does get roughed up a little. Does pick up a mirror. 10 more bombs. Some blue rip. A very hard time slashing this mini mold arm. Arrow booster and a piece of heart. So only one useful item there, but it is the mirror, and that's a pretty big one. So they'll certainly be happy to see that. Freddie now sets up his bomb jump across here so that he can take a nice quick trip over to the stairwell up and be able to head over to Hera, I guess, first. Oh, very nice magic refill, too.
Mm-hmm. So it could be Vanilla Moon Pearl, or no, it could be sort of Vanilla Moon Pearl. Boots could be in the bid chest.
That would be something. Or it could be Book. Send them to Desert.
Yes, and then Bow and Desert and
yeah, exactly. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing. You get 3 crystals out of the way really quickly. Also, of course, the other really nice thing about the 3 the 3 Light World crystals is that you now immediately know that all the pendants are in the Dark World. And Dark World dungeons are almost without exception the ones that you really want to be the pendants because they are the longest. Skull Woods is an outlier in that regard, but you know, certainly you would prefer to have like a Turtle Rock or a Wizard Mire be a pendant.
Freddie's gonna have to be a bit careful here. He's sitting on 2 HP. I wonder if he'll hit the safety switch and grab some extra health on the top floor. May even avoid doing the bomb jump unless he's very, very secure in it.
Yeah, if you have hookshot and no boots, it's actually pretty fast to just hookshot across and then drop down.
That's true.
Right.
Oh, there's our glove. Okay. So now we're just looking for the boots for Dark World access.
Indeed so. Well, you know, for the sake of our runner's sanity, we'll be hoping to see them show up pretty quickly. Freddie did want to give a shot at the I don't know what they call it, but the pixel to line up through that bumper, but thought better of it. Goes to drop down, collect a small key from the big chest. So if the item is not on Moldorm, he will have to think about that chest for a very long time, as he does not have a fire source right now.
And he is picking up some extra health, because he's spooky there. And Moldorm does do a full heart of damage.
Yeah, not before he got knocked down to 1 heart too, so it was a little bit scary, but
yeah,
he's alright. Got his hammer out. Freddie's definitely very experienced in this fight, as all rando runners have to be.
Yeah, and gets a hammer down.
That was a close moment to accidentally poking his tail and getting the fast Moldorm. Oh, yep, it's in the basement. Oh boy.
We do not have a fire source, so...
Yep. And you know that Freddy's immediately thinking back to the last seed where he, you know, had that one location in Turtle Rock that he couldn't check, and then he got the item to do it, like, very shortly thereafter, and he got ruined by it completely. So you know that's immediately going through his mind. Cfalcon, I'm sure, is also just thinking similar things, but come on, is it going to be another one of these? But he also makes quick work with Moldorm, so he collects his first crystal. Both of our runners still being very close together at this stage. 23.5 minutes having their first crystal here. This would be a good time to finish Tower of Hera on an NMG run. Kappa.
Okay, Agina and then Eastern, or Eastern and then Agina?
Let's see. Freddie busts out the flute from Mountain Cave. You're going to see a lot of this.
It's about equal, like the menu time and everything. Looks like we are going to go to Agina first. This makes sense. That's a blue rupee, so that's not an item we need.
Yeah, getting this 1 alpha out of the way is definitely the kind of thing that both runners will be looking to do, get some peace of mind. So Falcon finishing up his Death Mountain, he also saves and quits. They actually probably could have done it faster, just walking out the door of Spiral Cave, but that's one of those things where you're not really expecting to be fluting away from Spiral Cave most of the time. as the boots. There you go.
There we go. Boots at Adina. Oh, and Cfalcon is going to Eastern.
Oh man. Alright, well this gives Freddeh a pretty significant head start on Dark World, but could potentially yield Cfalcon an interesting item. There's 3 non-dungeon items in here. He may or may not be able to access all of them, but Freddeh is beelining directly to Bunkrox and then Kakariko for that pearl.
That mirror though is gonna really make Dark Worlds just convenient. Like Hiyori has the hammer, so he can go. He could even go to Pod if he wanted. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna wait for the bow. Looks like he's a little worried about the items that he has and wants to check. Wants to check up here.
Yeah, this is pretty common when you do that lumberjack skip early on, is that you get boots and you immediately start thinking, okay, I have to hedge against that play that I made earlier to skip this check, and I just need to check it now. So he finds out also that it's a piece of heart, so now they both know that the lumberjack ledge won't be required. And with the hammer, I believe they should be good on Dark World entirely. They should not need Aghanim at all.
Yep. Yeah, with the hammer, that pretty much opens up the entirety of the overworld and locations. Now the only thing is like different dungeons in the game.
Well, we haven't turned up anything in Eastern Palace so far, so that's not great news for Cfalcon. He's only got 2 more chests left that are in the logic, and then he's going to have the vanilla big key location, which he almost certainly can access. It requires going through a dark room, but it's one of the easier ones in the game. That is a shield. Not really what he's looking for.
No.
Meanwhile, we got Hype Cave coming up for Freddeh. That was a B.
Yeah, we are CO. Blue Mail, not too bad. Vamos. Bow. Okay, Hype Cave it is then. Huh, sounds good.
Oh, it's very hype.
A very, very good cave.
Well, with Bow and Mirror now, Pod is fully completable. Eastern's fully completable. Freddeh, I would expect, there's that map check. Pod is a pendant, of course it is. Thieves Town's a pendant. Swamp Palace is the green pendant.
I think
and,
even if it... Oh, no. Pod's a pendant. I think I'd still go there first.
Freddeh for now is deciding not to do that. He's going to do the Stumpy and Digging game in Game 45, but that's rough. And I also saw that Turtle Rock is the other red crystal, so Turtle Rock, again, going to be in consideration in Freddie's mind for maybe I need to go check this out. Meanwhile, Cfalcon pieces out of Eastern Palace, as unfortunately there was nothing there for him.
Maybe I would... I think without the lamp, maybe the pod play isn't so good, because then Armos isn't in logic, neither is the other chest and all that. So... And most of pod wouldn't be, so... Probably not the best idea, but...
Yeah, I mean, pod is heavy in items much of the time. It's just hard to necessarily say, like, oh, well, without the lamp, it's a good idea to go here when, like, the entire back half... Like, the lamp could be the last progression item they get. It's like the entire back half could just be completely irrelevant. So there's the boots for Cfalcon, so he'll be able to get into the Dark World and start falling around. And unfortunately for him, that Eastern Palace visit was a lot of sunk time for not really much benefit. Whereas Freddeh here is already working on his big game. He's got his Hype Cave, he's got his bow and bombos, and some nice blue duds for the Hedgehog, who is already blue. That was a lot of digs for 3 bombs, and he doesn't manage to beat out the NPC text either, so that's great. Well, Zelnus, where do you head right now, in your opinion? You're playing this seed, because Thieves and Pod both being those options are both pendants. Those would be like the things most people would think to do first, but they're both pendants. So where would you head to?
I would say Thieves because all the items are in Logic versus Pod, where everything in the dark rooms, of which there are quite a lot, are not. And you'd want to hope that like you can just ignore EP at this point, because if it does have something good, your opponent has it, and you've kind of lost anyway. So, yeah, you may be thinking, okay, did my opponent go there first? Is this where I lose? This is a really tough one, honestly, for our runners.
Yeah, Freddie's going to start with the Village of Outcasts. This is also the play I think I would personally make, but again, you know, who knows, right? Rando is Rando. But he's going to check the chess game. He's going to get 3 bombs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, since it is a pendant and not the green pendant, I wouldn't be surprised to see just the front 4 of Thieves Town potentially from him. That might be a way for him to kind of hedge his bets and say, okay, well, hopefully the front of Thieves Town has something, but if it doesn't, and if the rest of the dungeon doesn't have something, I haven't burned too much time. Hey, flippers.
That's not bad. That opens up a few checks. That opens up Swamp Palace completely. Wow, all the pendants are beatable minus having the lamp. Okay.
That's brittle.
This is one of those seeds you could have in theory skipped.
Well, we don't have book yet.
True. But this isn't V. I don't know which one. I don't know when they implemented book being a requirement for pedestal. That used to be a thing for those of you who are interested in history. That is why the text is this is a paradox for the book.
One Ice Rod showing up very early for Freddie there in these dens. That is a really nice pickup. Not going to materialize in terms of value very soon, but it will certainly help his consideration of Turtle Rock later on, which is that other red crystal. So we have Cfalcon basically, you know, now that he's gone in the Dark World, he's just following that same path. It's a pretty, you know, kind of straightforward sequence of events to kind of follow right now. So we're really still waiting to see if either of the runners is going to diverge at some point. And Freddie is continuing in Thieves Town. This is pretty interesting. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this play. Like, I mean, obviously if it has the required item, then there you go. It was a good call.
That is a lawn digging game, by the way. Jeez.
Yeah, it was, I think it was nearly all 30 digs.
Yeah. That was something.
I also miscounted at the beginning of Thieves Town, so I'm not 100% sure whether there's 1 or 2 items remaining in this dungeon, but either way, we saw the Ice Rod, and we also saw 50 rupees in the front that I know of. So there's either 2 or 1 item left back here, and that's a little bit concerning.
Interesting is that Thieves Town had a required item, but does not actually progress the seed at all. I think, honestly, finding those flippers... oh no, flippers were in here, weren't they? Swamp is your next play, I think. I think you complete this, and then you complete Swamp, and then you do Pod, and complete that.
Just go and pull the pedestal.
I don't know if you pull the pedestal. I don't know if you pull the pedestal, but you do complete them in case it is the pedestal. I'm not sure though. This is a weird one.
That seems really risky, but this might be the seed where that's the play. I'm not
sure.
Like
they don't have any other plays, honestly. Unless Swamp or the end of Thieves Town hold something, they kind of have to.
we're gonna
Like-
see Falcon's skull play here, and he's gotten nothing so far, but he's gonna try to see if there's actual progression here. He's got one more chest he can check.
I just don't know. I feel like if they find Lamp and Swamp, then this is just the worst seed for these guys, especially after their last one.
Yeah. Alright, well, Freddeh beginning his blind fight, and he's going to try to script this as much as possible. If you get the correct hits at the correct timing, he follows the same pattern every time, and unfortunately he doesn't quite get it exactly right, but not bad. And of course he does have that blue mail, so it's not really that scary anyway. And there he goes. And he finds no more items left in the dungeon. But he does collect a beautiful red pendant. The color of the red that he's seeing in his eyes from this seed.
This is a cursed matchup apparently.
Alright, so it looks like Freddeh will fall asleep.
Yeah, it looks like he's either going to Stalwarts. Yeah, he's probably going to Stalwarts. Oh no, he's gonna go check Kate first, which is what Cfalcon is doing, and it is nothing.
Big surprise. Fred's thinking, man, it better not be freaking Cape on pedestal again. I'll scream. And he's dipping out in Skull for now. He's not going to go there without the Fire Rod, I think. So instead, he's just going to go ahead and check out Graveyard Ledge, which Cfalcon is currently doing, and also King's Tomb while he's here. So a little bit of convergence here finally for the first time in a little while. Big 20, yay. Now, good point coming from chat that Cfalcon not having the flippers, he won't be able to go to the East Dark World to do Catfish plus all the Zora locations. And I wager there's a very high chance Fred is doing that.
And there is the Titan's Miss. Okay, so that removes that old play. That's very good. That removes the having to do constant, like, pendants. I wonder if he's doing a Dark World right now. For Cfalcon. No, it looks like he's coming back here. Maybe doing
could be thinking
the
about
Smiths.
the overworld here.
Yeah, maybe looking to do Smiths and all that. Because he, again, yeah, like you said, he doesn't have the flippers. So.
Yeah, that's a really nice placement for those myths. I mean, it's kind of, for like first-time rando players, it's a really troll location since you think you can't get to it without the myth. But yeah, for runners with this level of experience, like that's a great location. They know they can get to it. And what just did...
Sorry?
Nothing, don't worry about it. Freddeh definitely didn't just get bomb-clipped through a wall by by that dude.
Well, at least he got out. I missed it until I was looking at Cfalcon.
That was incredible. But yeah, Freddeh will go check these locations, and Cfalcon is going to have the opportunity to actually do all these overworld locations and then loop in the blacksmiths and stuff, as you mentioned. So that'll be slightly more efficient for him. Cfalcon collecting his flippers, and does look like he wants to head into Thieves Town. He opened the door. Catfish yielding nothing of value. Well, okay, it literally had value, but figuratively it was not of value.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a bottle. We already have one of those in Ether, so that's another piece of the puzzle, possibly. We don't know yet.
This is a lot of room for some time saved by Cfalcon here. If he just does not bother finishing this dungeon, assuming it's not a pedestal seed, Freddeh spent a bunch of time traversing the dungeon to collect nothing. There was nothing else there beyond the flipper. Beyond the ice rod. So this is a potential opening for Cfalcon to make up some of that time that he lost in that Eastern Palace visit.
But he'll have a better option for doing the overworld there. Yeah, no, that entire catfish to Zora, it did not pay off absolutely nothing. It looks like.
Well, we did get that Ether Medallion, which could be one of the medallions required for the 2 Crystal Medallion dungeons, but we'll see. Not gonna find out. Well, actually, we might find out immediately. Yeah, indeed.
Interesting idea to go straight here.
Yeah, this is a pretty popular play. Just get this medallion knowledge immediately. That was a very, like, the barest pixel of that, but I believe it was Ether?
Okay, and... Okay, so it was Ether, based on chat, and you...
Mire Shed yielding nothing of note, sadly. And Cfalcon now going to begin on this blacksmiths, hammer pegs, etc., all these things.
Freddeh looks like he's raring to just do this dungeon, though it's not completable without a fire source, so this is just a dip right now.
Yeah, he's hoping for it to be a valuable dip. It was boots locked, but of course the entire seed was boots locked, so that doesn't matter too much. Alright. Cfalcon collects the lamp from the blacksmith, so that is a very nice item to have. I wouldn't be surprised to see Freddeh get to this eventually, but unfortunately, not before this desert trip.
Let's see, Cfalcon's routing is just kind of working out for him in this part of the game.
Yeah, he's I don't know if he's caught up that time that he spent on that eastern visit yet, but this desert play by Freddeh is certainly helping in that regard. And Cfalcon's even going to take a quick trip over here for some potions. He's going to make 100% sure that he is safe for the duration of his seed. And 2 will probably be plenty, considering that they already have Blue Mail and 12 Hearts. I wouldn't be surprised if he does not need to make another stop here. Oh man. Is this it? Is this the swamp play?
Swamp would be pretty risky here.
It's not.
No, I'd probably go into Pyramid and Catfish and all that. Now that he had... Oh? Where are you going, sir? Oh, he's making some extra chits. I see.
Yeah, actually, this one is pretty good. Cfalcon checked this earlier, and Freddeh did not. Freddeh just checks it now. It's the mushroom, and Cfalcon has known this since his visit to Eastern, so that is potentially very important. And if they can get the Cane of Samari in the near future, it could allow them to do some fake powder and try to head off any particularly heinous shenanigans by the seed.
Also, right, I totally forgot about this, but as you can see, very good swimming sprite for this length.
Alright, well, 50 rupees from the hobo, and Freddeh is going to flute away just back to 8, so he is going to, I think, do Ice Palace because he's done all the Zora stuff, so he's got to be the ice play. And ditto for Cfalcon, alright. Oh no, wait, just kidding. He hasn't done Zora, my bad.
Okay, Ice Palace from Freddeh. No Fire Rod. The lamp is left behind the Smiths.
So Cfalcon collecting that required ether medallion that we now know about from the waterfall fairies, so he will not get tripped up by that item. Neither will Freddeh this time around. They'll both be fine. But now we're gonna have to see where Cfalcon is gonna head. He's got a lot of options too. Freddeh made his choice of Ice Palace, and we're about to see the first of the many slow item checks in here, and unfortunately it is a compass. So now we're gonna have to sit tight for like another 15 or minutes or whatever until Freddeh gets to the next chest. Cfalcon is actually going to just go ahead and walk out of the Zora domain rather than save and quit, and he'll just flute from here. Where to, sir?
Maybe he's going straight into Ice Palace.
Yeah, this looks like he is. He's going to take the waterfall, or water thing, whirlpool, that thing. Well, this is something. This is pretty even right now, actually. Freddeh is still a little bit ahead of Cfalcon, but that Thieves Town play did not yield anything for Freddeh, so it kind of offset the Eastern Palace play that Cfalcon made, and now they're both in Ice Palace at the same time.
Hey, it's kind of interesting how much these routes diverged. Like a bit at start, like you think Cfalcon chicken an entire dungeon extra would set him back a bit, but he's kind of just had good luck with his routing and it's keeping him up to pace with Freddeh. The only thing is that he did not finish Thieves Town, which didn't matter.
Question marks.
In theory, it didn't matter, although Fire Rod could be on pedestal. And that's about it for required items, but it's a pretty important item. Samaria as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey! Okay, so these guys don't have to deal with awful swords today. That's very nice of the game.
Not only that, but that already sets them up for the nice, easy Tempered Sword and Silver's cannon fight, so it'll be pretty straightforward for both runners. Of course, they might even get a gold for, extra safety, but this will be pretty good as it is.
What happened? What did I miss?
That's a gold sword on Freddie's side.
Oh, I look at the wrong screen every time. So I'll admit to chat, I was working during most of the game one, so I actually don't know how long they were saying on base sword or no sword last round. But based on this reaction, quite a while. So this is quite the relief for these runners.
Well, it wasn't that crazy, but yeah, there was Cfalcon did end up on Master Sword, and Freddeh ended up with Tempered only because he checked, I think, like one kind of random extra location. So he's trying to get the bomb jump set up here to go over to the iced tea room, and I'm not actually sure if he knows it, but he manages to improvise it well.
With the boots, you can set it up, I think, just by bonking, can't you?
I don't know. I mean, there's like a million setups for that one. It's a very straightforward bomb jump, actually. Yeah. Just that most people don't necessarily know all of the setups for it. But Cfalcon instead, he actually went to the left side first, picked up a small key, and that is dropping down here to pick up the iced tea chest first, which has the big key. So it's kind of an awkward route for Cfalcon. I'm not sure whether this is faster or not, but it will be a little bit hard to tell, I guess, because Freddeh kind of came in here ahead anyway. well, that's the end of Freddy's item checks in here. He's gonna go finish up the dungeon. Cfalcon just needs to get over to the right side and pick up his tempered and golden sword. I mean, the dungeon only has 3 non-dungeon items, so I guess if they're not necessarily going to be progression, 2 swords is not the worst thing they could be.
No, I mean, especially just before one of the harder bosses. Like this, they did this in just the right order. So I mean, they could have in theory go moded this dungeon. There was that chance, but instead they get 2 swords. So I think that they'll be okay with this. This will actually speed up the rest of the dungeons, probably, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially fights like Argus, if they end up having to do that. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Also, we won't have to worry about fake powder because we got the real one off of Cold Stairs. So Freddeh can go ahead and check that if he wants. That would probably get him that lamp as well, too, if he decides to go do that stuff right now.
That's a pretty loaded Ice Palace, all things considered.
Yeah, I'd agree. Alright, Cfalcon collected his tempered sword, and he's back in this room where he will collect some bombs and a golden sword. Now he'll continue the boss as well. Again, just falling basically right behind Freddeh, yet again in this scene. But now the question is, are they going to diverge, and is it going to become, the kind of situation that we had last seed, or is Freddeh going to be able to hold on to or maybe solidify this lead?
Looks like Freddeh is going to do the Smiths now. Oh, is he going around the world with him? Oh, no, he just... Okay. I thought he was... I'm pretty sure you've gone around the world already. I don't think you need Satan for that trip.
Yeah, no. You just forgot how to navigate that screen for a minute.
That's a... I don't even think that's the way to do it on the Light World screen.
I believe
this is what happens. Oh, does it have a ladder? Okay.
Yeah.
Or an open... Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a ramp. Yeah. Alright, so Cfalcon's already done all this. Freddeh is now catching up. He will get his lamp. He'll go turn in his purple chest, and then they'll actually be pretty much even. Oh, Cfalcon having actually a pretty rough time with Cold Stare.
Don't die at the end here. This is the worst boss to die to. At least in NMG. Less bad in Randomizer, but...
Still bad. Real bad. Don't do it. But fortunately, Cfalcon survives. He manages to clutch out the fight, and Freddeh collects his lamp. Cfalcon collects his second crystal out of 7. 52.5 minutes into this scene.
That's not too bad, honestly. Especially the way that this is going up. They're going to find the Fire Rod and the Samaria. Samaria being the last time would be nice. Fire Rod being the last time, not so nice.
Well, we're going to see the powder from Freddeh, and we're going to see that mushroom from Cfalcon. The powder yields red mail, which is very nice. Now both runners, I got to think, will be completely set as far as defenses. And the mushroom is... nothing. Alright, Cfalcon, now with a very slight lead, heads over to the mire area. Actually, he may not have been in here, so this may be his first check of this. Alright, so cross what I just said. Freddeh's in the lead. Again, barely. Oh baby. Oh man. Oh, but Freddeh's already done the front of desert. Oh, but Cfalcon can finish it.
Yeah. So this could put Cfalcon, I think, a little bit. Freddeh making a play on a pendant. With his items, this actually isn't a bad play. Although I think it's actually even with swap, because there's one extra item. Oh no, they're both no. There's actually 2 extra items if you complete swap completely.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think it's gonna be about the same time to complete like a full clear. So I don't know. I think swap might have been better here, but this way he gets to do Armos and that. So
yeah, exactly.
It's even, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You see him busting out the mirror, so he's gonna do Eastern. His hope is, I'm gonna find something here, and I believe that what we found so far is 2 of the non-dungeon items in Eastern Palace out of the 3 are in the front, and then the last one is on Armos. So
that's correct.
Gonna be a little while before we find out anything new here, because Cfalcon has done everything except Armos already.
Yeah, so both runners doing dungeons they'd already done at this point, but finishing the dungeon. So
this did turn out to bite Freddeh in the last scene, where he went to Turtle Rock without having the ability to finish it, and it did not contain the Ice Rod. Whereas Cfalcon went to Pod, which he did have the ability to finish, and it turned out to have the Ice Rod. So that ended up being basically the game-deciding difference eventually, since Freddeh cleared the entirety of Pod and got nothing, and of TR and got nothing. And there was an item on Trinex, but that's the kind of thing that makes you not want to go back there. Well, Cfalcon's got everything in Eastern except for 1 item, so is he gonna want to go back there? That's the question right now. Well, I guess there will be the question, depending on what's on Armos. Oh, I like this from Freddeh. He's going to chance. The last item could be on the big key chest, or it could be on Armos Knights. He's going to chance that it's on Armos, and he is correct. So this is going to save him. I think it's about like 40 or 80 seconds or something of going around the right side, and there's Dark Runes.
Somebody pointed out in chat, Dark Death Mountain not done by either runner. That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, I would expect them to get to it before too long. I'm just not sure about, since Freddeh made this mirror play here to Eastern. I don't know, we'll see. There is a 3rd crystal for Cfalcon as Freddeh enters the Armos Knights fight. And I was going to make a joke about how quick this fight is, but Freddeh kind of had a little trouble with it, and unfortunately it's just 50 rupees. So there's his 3rd crystal, but Cfalcon now. Oh baby. Aw, no. Got my hopes up about entering Mire, but not yet. And here's the pod play.
Yeah. So pod play. Yeah, it's convenient because you got a crystal while doing this, and there's a lot of items here. It's just unfortunate that it is a pendant, and there's another pendant that's fully accessible to you, but no crystals. And I don't know if you want to do. I don't know if the thing you want to do right now is go into swamp or do some partial clears like Mire. Cfalcon though might have the right idea. Dark Death Mountain right now.
Yeah, aside from being able to check the Turtle Rock Medallion, there's also the 6 locations up here that you can check. I know the Death Mountain Island is worthless, so there's nothing there. There's also, I don't believe we've seen Spike Cave, right?
I don't think so, no.
So 7 locations, assuming that they don't go into Turtle Rock, like get the cane and then go into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, getting the cane would be... I would go straight into Turtle Rock just to check it, because it's either going to reject you very quickly or let you check a lot of extra locations. Ups and downsides to that, honestly.
Yeah, and in fact, that exact play by Cfalcon in the previous race, he did enter Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod, and it did not bite him because he got, as you said, rejected pretty much immediately, and didn't cost a huge amount of time, whereas Freddie had to make that and trip all the way to the back, and that did cost him a very large amount of time. There's the medallion check. Ether.
Oh,
Boy, that
Chet is
medallion.
very happy about Riot Shield on the small link.
It does look pretty good.
He is actually shorter than the sprite is.
Well, nothing on Darky's DM. Cfalcon will go ahead and book it over here, and he will check out Spike Caves. We'll see what's there. Freddie, meanwhile, is trying to do the good old-fashioned exploration of Pod with minimal item checking. I believe he did skip the Vanilla Big Key location, which I think he counted out. No, I'm just kidding. I saw him go to it. I'm just high. That's a Cane of Samaria.
Well then. Well, this play was very worth it then, in this case.
Spike Cave yields a shovel.
Oh, okay, well, it could be out. It could be out.
He went straight to Link's house. I think he is going directly to
He's
check
gonna
that
cash
shovel.
that in, yeah. There's no reason not to cash that in right now. You have to save and quit out of the cave anyway, or die, you know.
Oh my gosh, dude. Reminder from chat. Very useful and important reminder.
Oh.
Cfalcon forgot Hera Basement. As did we.
Yeah. But I mean, it's... Oh dear. It's like the opposite. Oh no. Okay, nope. It's yield of... There's the Medora.
Oh wow.
That should give Freddie extra incentive to remember the basement of Hera.
Bomb upgrade from the remaining chest in the Dark Maze, but Pod has been incredibly valuable so far.
I think
does
that
appear
Meyer...
Cfalcon's making this play.
Oh, the Trinets is an item. He is going to not do it, though. I think Meyer's your play here. Meyer, probably good. Oh, but Cfalcon going straight to Pod.
Yeah, he's going to finish up Eastern, he's going to get that out of the way, and then he's going to go into Pod. So now he's behind by basically the length of Pod, and Freddie making that, that calculated gamble to say, okay, Cfalcon getting knocked away from Kiki there.
Freddie hasn't
But,
done stall, so I think he's doing stall and then checking the pedestal.
With no fire on, I guess that makes some a little sense. Now, Cfalcon, I believe, did check this earlier, and unfortunately found nothing here.
Now, if he is checking pedestal, why would you not have killed Helmasaur for the item? Like, if you have an inkling, oh, did you just remember he doesn't fire on?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going through his mind right here.
Oh.
He does end up doing the same route that Cfalcon did here, entering through the front door instead of the drop down, and that does actually work out in this particular seat because there's a small key there, so he can do a pretty fast route through this early area and then mirror out. So this is pretty good for him, but otherwise, yeah, he's not gonna find anything here.
I thought for sure he was checking pedestal. Maybe he still is.
Yeah, he may still be, but he probably wanted to get these front of skull checks out of the way first. Unfortunately, again, they're nothing, so this is just a time sink for him, but it's certainly hard to say no to this when it is a crystal dungeon, and it's not all that uncommon for it to have Fire Rod.
I'm not sure how often Freddeh does 2 Cs in a row. So I'm not sure. Maybe this is the because it's pretty fatiguing. Like do 2 randomizer seeds back to back within 15 minutes of each other, and then report back and say that in that second seed you made all of the most sane decisions. It could be pretty daunting, honestly.
Yeah, that's a large part of a reason why a lot of randomizer runners use things like location trackers. It's not that they can't remember the locations that exist or when they're available. It's just that it's so likely if you're the kind of person that likes to play a lot of randomizer seeds back to back, you're just gonna lose track of them. You're gonna be like, oh, didn't I check bonk rocks already? Oh no, that was the last seed.
Nope, just 3 bombs. Okay.
Yeah, I was not really holding out much hope for Pepsi.
No, me neither. It's literally 2% chance, so it's not exactly common.
Sorry,
Meyer is the play, though.
That's where he's heading. Alright, so Cfalcon, having just finished up Eastern, now that time loss for him is kind of finally being realized as he had to retraverse the entire dungeon, and he still has to go into pod. But he is going to go into pod, so this will get him the items that he needs, that cane, that book, and we'll see what Freddie's going to find in Meyer. Meanwhile, we are just a Fire Rod from Go Mode.
Fire Rod could be in Meyer. I think at this point you do Meyer, you do Desert, and then you just gamble that Turtle Rock has Fire Rod at that point if you don't find it before then.
There's no way, though. It has one location. Like, well, okay.
It could have all locations minus 2.
Yeah, you're right. Because of the keys could just give you access. But God, that's an awful gamble to make. No one wants to.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody wants to do. But I mean, I think it is like what would you rather do? Would you rather make that gamble or would you go to Swamp?
I would probably go to Swamp, but I'm a lot more conservative of a player.
Fair enough.
We'll see what these runners opt to do, of course, and the Fire Rod could just be here in Meyer, which would render all of that irrelevant.
I mean, it's not a decent chance if you believe in logic chains like some runners do.
Believe in the heart of the rando. The funny thing is, there's some friends of mine have kind of looked at the whole concept of chains, and while that did definitely exist in past versions of the rando, where you would get an item and it pointed the way to like the next thing you were supposed to do, these days the randomizer logic is actually very close to just, if you have access to a location, it is equally likely to have the thing you need. So,
pretty much, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's some extra. I definitely have heard both sides. I know some runners who believe in, like, for example, also actually, Helmut Sorkin can have Fire Rod.
Oh, you had to say it, didn't you?
Just remember that thing that Freddie left behind. Okay, so big key's there. There's some interesting key logic with this dungeon, and I can never remember it. It's got to do with big key and small key locations.
Yeah,
Freddeh hitting that switch again. He needs. Yeah, there we go. Something about the big key and small key in this chest up here, and the chest after the cutscene.
Oh, and Meyer. Yeah, no, actually, it's pretty straightforward. If there's a small key in either of these chests, then the other one has to have the big key.
Okay, that's what it is.
And there's a reason for that, but not to belabor the point too much. It's pretty straightforward, based on the randomizer logic. And so Cfalcon collects his cane, and he's trying to hopefully take advantage of his knowledge of the key logic in pod. If he is able to do that, he'll know that the Harmless Hellway has just a small key, so there's no need for him to go open that chest.
And as you can see here, you can do this. Some people think that you do this puzzle very, very quickly.
It's the big key. I miscounted items. Good thing I'm not playing this scene.
Aw. But we already knew that was the big key.
You know,
being here.
We'll pretend that I was definitely paying attention when that happened.
I remember you even making the statement. Oh, he checked the vanilla big key spot. You paid enough attention to know that was supposed to be a key. but not enough. That directly after that statement, we found the big key.
I can't even claim that it's like late in the day because it's like 10. So
Yeah.
whatever. It's fine.
It is midnight for me.
Alright, well, Freddie is continuing on to the end of Misery Mire. Does look like he's found the 2 items. One of them was a bomb upgrade. I didn't see the other one, but I'm sure Freddie was counting to 2. It's not that hard to do so. So Falcon also leaving the dungeon. He is not going to kill King Almasaur.
Interesting.
You know, in a race, it really is only bad if it hurts you and not your opponent. So as long as they both do it, it's okay that either one of them did do it because the other one also did. At least as far as, you know, victory goes. It'll slow your time down if it's there, but meh. I have a feeling that this Vitreous fight is not going to last very long.
No, I mean, he couldn't even use Burna, he could just use WQ Vidi, or just his silver arrows, which I forgot he had. Look, I just like doing the WQ Vidi shots. It looks really cool when you do it right.
Yeah, we practiced those quite a lot at RPG Limit Break, and unfortunately Freddie was not able to join us there, but he was there in spirit. And he used his knowledge that he learned there to use the silver arrows instead of doing that strat because it's way easier. So that is crystal number 4 for Freddie. He's got 3 left. Desert Palace is possible for him to finish up now, so he'll probably go do that. But he's not going to get an item from it, so it's just going to be his remaining crystal. And that is going to leave the possible, the possibility of Turtle Rock. The possibility of Swamp Palace, which, ugh. And that's kind of about it. Don't say Helma. Do not say Helma. Thank you. Oh, and there is that, oh gosh, there's that chest in Hera as well.
Oh man, I mean, at least Freddeh hasn't been to Darkness Mountain at all, so he can check all of it, and then end up finding his. Oh no, he did check Darkness Mountain. Oh.
No, Cfalcon
No?
did. Freddeh has not yet.
Oh right. There was nothing. For some reason I thought that was where the cane was, but that was not that. Oh man, this seed. That Ice Palace early fight. The fact that they both did ice, they both basically been doing this. The major points of each seed they've been doing around the same time. And Cfalcon is making is skipping left side, and he's actually gonna not find any items on the right side, which we already know.
So Freddeh actually, this is an interesting thing, something that you only get to see when you watch 2 straight games by the same players, that you see Freddeh actually switched up his Landmola strats. He used silver arrows last race and had a tough time with them. So he said, okay, whatever, I'll just use, I have the gold sword, I have Ice Sword, let's just use that.
Gold sword, very strong, except for in the vanilla game against in Moth. That's where it deals 0 damage for reasons.
For reasons. Freddeh is going directly to Death Mountain, so he's going to, with his 5th crystal now in hand, he's got 2 dungeons. They're both hard blocked on Fire Rod. He needs to know where that Fire Rod is. He's got 6 locations on East Dark Death Mountain. He's got Spike Cave, he's got Ether Tablet, and he's got the Hera Basement, if he feels like doing it. We did earlier say that Cfalcon forgot the Hera Basement, but actually there's a good chance that he didn't forget. He just said, I don't want to spend that entire amount of time on this one location. Yeah,
it is 45 seconds just for the cutscene. That is not counting the time. We see Cfalcon is moving all the blocks before lighting any of the torches. Not needed to be done. You can actually just do the whole puzzle, torches, no boots.
Wow.
Oh, and
There
we're
it
in
is.
go mode. Okay.
An
And
hour
he is gonna.
14.
He's just gonna flute down and do Skullwoods now. I don't think it really mattered when he did these, since he was already on the mountain. I don't know if he really loses. I think it doesn't really matter. But yeah, hopefully Cfalcon goes there soon. There's a lot of other places he could go.
Yeah, and the problem for Cfalcon, of course, is he pretty much only has the couple dungeons and one off location. Actually, I guess the one dungeon. No, Thieves Town. He never finished Thieves Town.
He only did the
boy.
first half. He only went up to Flippers, and I think he abandoned it in the first half.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's bad news for him.
All 3 pendants he could return to for any number of reasons. It's definitely not over because he's not that far behind if he just goes straight to, like, if he just goes straight to if he goes straight to Death Mountain and checks that, he's fine.
Right, which is tough to really expect him to
do
if he does.
Oh no, we have Ether. Never mind. We do know what he. Sorry, we do know. Sorry, somebody got spoofed me in chat, but then I just looked at our tracker. We do know what Turtle Lock is. That's correct.
That's correct. So yeah, Freddeh is definitely in the driver's seat, and Cfalcon, if he is able to make that exact call to get up to Ether Tablet immediately, then he will be within striking distance. But definitely Freddeh has a very good chance here. Certainly the kind of lead that Cfalcon had last race.
I'd say that this is actually a bit better of a lead than because like when I came in, Freddeh still had like 2 dungeons left while Cfalcon was finishing up like the boss of his last. He had a little bit better of an advantage, but yeah, it's a comfortable lead for sure for Freddeh.
Nice, very quick Mothula fight for him. Gold Sword going to make the rest of this clear pretty straightforward. Turtle Rock won't even be too hard as Trinex will go down pretty quickly. So, and of course then they'll get the nice easy Ganon fight as well, quote unquote easy. Six crystals for Freddeh, and now 5 for Cfalcon, and here's the moment of truth for him, as he has to make a very, very important decision here. The dead rocks here, though.
No one in Rando ever goes for the Waffle House drive-thru.
Oh boy, this is if this is only Bombos Tablet, this is okay. If this is more than Bombos Tablet,
I don't think it's only Bombos Tablet, Religion.
We gotta hope, man. We gotta hope. Maybe he'll think that the that the book was a was a clue. Excuse me.
Stay to the left. Just flute after. You're still fine if you flute after checking this. It's so many items.
And it's the green pendant. It's really tempting, and I really don't want to see him do it because I want to see him be able to finish strong here.
Okay, don't walk back. Oh no.
That's that rando feel.
And this is officially Freddeh's game to lose at this point. Would have to that is a major. This is not a wrong decision when you don't know anything about the seed. But
yeah,
man,
but us, we here in the caster's booth, we know exactly where the items are. So why don't you go there, man? Come on.
I know. Freddeh going to the top first. Guess he's looking, unless I missed him checking the left side, looking at Cfalcon's fate. Oh no. This isn't even a bad decision. This is honestly a perfectly fine. This might be the best play. Freddeh honestly took took a huge gamble to go up there to check what few items there were.
Well, so keep in mind, and this is let's talk about the genesis of this play. So Cfalcon went to Dark East Death Mountain before doing Mire and before
Right.
being in this position. And and before doing Pod for that matter, so he didn't have Book. And he did check the 6 locations that were there, and he found out what the Turtle Rock Medallion was, and that was a pretty good play at that point. And unfortunately, meant that now there's only 2 locations up there on Death Mountain for him, the Hera Basement and the Ether Tablet. So Freddeh, on the other hand, went to Pod first, got that book, and that means that it's way more sensible for him to head up to, yeah, that's a word, for him to head up to Death Mountain. He had 9 locations available to check, and
Right.
one of them, as a matter of fact, the first one that he checked happened to be it. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of one of those slow burn plays. You never appreciate exactly how big of a deal that play is if you're playing a seed solo, but if you're playing it here, you can see exactly how much of a difference it makes.
The changeup almost ate that block, by the way.
I guess they don't get fed enough sitting there in that room in Turtle Rock.
Nope, they just eat the souls of all the green-mailed, all the green-mailed 3-heart entrance players who wander into that room.
Well, Cfalcon does find a bloomerang here in Swamp. He's going to continue straight to the back to start with, so he'll see if he can just get the magical every single item is directly.
Why is the bunny for Sonic Mario?
I mean, if you think about it, if you think about a Dark World version of Sonic, isn't it Mario?
Sure.
Don't say Shadow. We don't talk about Shadow.
I was gonna say Amy.
Oh man, Freddeh actually got like the perfect RNG in this Poke Room, and just didn't quite get the spin properly. He was facing forward and accidentally poked them. So otherwise, that was going to be a really, really nice room and very.
I think
for him.
Freddeh. So Freddeh, I just like to point out Freddie's movements are a bit right. Like he's been making small execution mistakes throughout Turtle Rock, as well as taking some gambles like he doesn't need to. Okay, he found a key. Never mind, it paid off. So that was kind of a gamble, not to. But I have been noticing like his movements are a bit like sporadic, like less controlled than I would normally see from him.
Yeah, and I would not at all be surprised if he is, you know, if his heart's pounding a mile an hour right now, because
especially after losing that last match. Yeah, down 0-1, he lost that match by like a good 10 minutes. So he must just be like, okay, it's very possible my opponent is like here, as the same as me, like this. In fact, he might think that his opponent went to pod earlier, because the seed really pointed towards checking out early pod. If you remember the way that it was laid out.
Yeah, that hammer and bow.
Yeah, that early hammer and bow. So he might think his opponent already has the bug.
But in either case, he's got to feel pretty confident at least, because he got to go mode at 1:14.
That's
which is a really, really good go mode time in a V29.
Oh, yeah.
Defeating your last crystal boss, that's going to be coming for him around the 123 mark. That's going to be really solid. So,
oh yeah,
I got to feel like at the same time that he's very nervous, he has to feel like he's in good position here.
It's definitely going to make it a little bit easier to think in the next round, where he knows that he's 1-1. So it's just like the best of 1 round in the old things. Slightly more on the line because it's a win, winning in, losing you're out. Like,
hey Zelda, we should talk about a mini game that we're going to play right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, people like this game. You get to guess numbers between 1 and 22, corresponding to the number of small chests in Ganon's Tower. And in this game, you get to be on a leaderboard if you guess the right number. And you are sub to any channel or donate 250 bits to any channel. That's about it. So guess away.
All right, I'm gonna go with 11. 11 is a good number. I like the number.
I always do a tell room so that we see the whole dungeon. Or 22, not necessarily tell rooms. Some people gamble, or some weird key logic where you read the keys you get in certain spots to know where to go with like the highest probability, which is a thing apparently.
So Freddie will be entering Ganon's tower right around the 124 mark. Cfalcon actually going back into Skull to, Swamp to check that left side, but unfortunately not going to yield a required item here.
Okay, 2 items. No keys, so both runners have to basically do the same route in the tower. Unless one goes Dark Magician route.
Yeah, I think Freddie's typical play is to continue to the right if he can and go left otherwise, but you know, you never know. Sometimes runners will try to metagame it and they'll say, I feel concerned about how my opponent is doing right now, so I am going to try something like a DM route. Freddie picking up a red rupee, a bug net, a small key, and that's 7 down.
Okay, Cfalcon, I guess, chose the wrong spot, or were they trying to go? Oh, back to pod. No.
Oh boy.
Oh, hand in green pendant. They want to do that. Okay. I thought they were gonna blind pull pedestal, and I was like, uh-oh.
Well, wasn't number 8 either, so Freddie is moving on. We're gonna get the firebar room, and we're gonna get some randomizer room, assuming that it's not there. Piece of heart from Sahaswa. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Oh, Cfalcon might not be feeling so good anymore. So many keys so far. Like, there was like no keys and then all keys.
That was close.
Okay.
I mean, the reality of it is the nature of Freddie's lead is such that even if he had accidentally from that little bomb blunder, as we find... Oh! That was just...
There it is!
12? Is that correct?
I don't remember. Chat will yell it at us, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was 12.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll confirm momentarily. So there you go. There's the big key for Freddie. And his lead is such that even if he like accidentally went up the tower with only with 0 small keys, he would still be completely fine. Of course, he doesn't know that, so he's going to have to, you know, make sure to play his best here to be 100% sure he walks away with a win. Tried to combine the words win and victory, and then I tried to do it again. And man, speaking as hard soundless, did you know that?
It is. Also, apparently bombs in using bombs properly in Zelda is considering Freddeh has now done 2 strange bomb-related glitches in this seed. An hour ago, a bomb clipped him. This time, he clipped a bomb.
All right, Freddeh will continue upstairs. Cfalcon checks that pedestal. He now has 1 of the 3 pendants and says, well, I guess I want to know whether or not I need to worry about this, and he does not, because it's just triple bombs, so where's he gonna go? He just needs to check those...
Oh!
There it is.
Okay, don't do anything crazy. Uh-oh, he has a shot. Oh, okay, he's going the right way. Okay, we're good. We're safe.
Yeah, no, he just wanted to hook dash up here, and in any sane routing, it's absolutely going to be first to check that ether tablet, so he's going to finally get his fire rod, and he will feel very bad. There's no sugarcoating it.
I mean, he might feel fine. Like, again, his checks are probably the statistically better plays. Like, nothing is wrong with the choices he's made, other than this fire rod being up here, and it just kind of worked in Freddie's favor.
Yeah, but that's not the logic that you're able to use when you're in the middle of a race, of course.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh no, my opponent went directly to every single item because they knew exactly where it was. I'm screwed. Alright, so Cfalcon being in go mode around 1 hour 29. So he'll have to finish up Skull and Turtle Rock. And again, Freddeh really he has the absolute command of this race, and really all he just has to do is march on to victory here, and he'll be able to tie up the series 1-1 and send it to a decisive game 3.
Which I believe is tomorrow.
I believe that's correct, yeah. We'll get that info. So far, a very solid Ganon's Tower for Freddeh, not making any, serious mistakes. You were talking, he was looking a little bit shaky earlier, but he's looking pretty fine here in the tower. He's got to feel pretty confident right now, as he's been able to execute very well, and really, aside from maybe spending a little extra time on that Thieves Town play, he's played this scene very well and basically made all the right calls. I mean, Cfalcon, for his part, has done the same, except for, unfortunately, his Dark Death Mountain play coming before the pod play. Basically the same thing that happened to Freddeh last race. Freddeh went to Dark Death Mountain before pod. Turned out pod had Ice Rod, and that screwed him out of getting Trinex's flippers forever. And in this race, Cfalcon went to Dark Death Mountain before having gone to pod. Pod had the book, and the Ether Tablet had the Fire Rod. So very interesting turn of events, and showing up in both races. And it's just weird how Randomizer works sometimes in that regard.
Yeah, Cfalcon is going to be doing second to last boss here.
And Mothula really wanted to hug those spikes for him.
Fortunately, Mothula does not take damage from spikes like other enemies do. And he's completely invulnerable to them. Otherwise, the fight would be extremely easy. Most ROM hats actually use Mothula as a mini boss because he is so easy without spikes in the room.
Man, this Aghanim is incredibly awful. It's just given very awkward patterns for Freddeh. Now the shadows are desynced from the main body, so Freddie's just getting really annoyed, but there it goes. He is done with Aga 2, and he'll be on his way to Ganon. An valuable contribution in chat pointing out that the moral of the story here is that in Randomizer, you should always go check the location that has the item you need. You shouldn't check the ones that don't have it.
At least they both did that early Ice Palace play, which worked out really well equipment-wise and safety-wise. That was so nice.
Alright, well that is one phase down for Freddeh with his gold sword. Here goes the second phase. It'll be very, very quick. That's it for that. So now he's going to wait for his best to fly away, and let's try to get the 4 hits on Ganon with a minimum of teleports, please. Please and thank you.
Yeah, one nice thing after watching many world record attempts since the new glitch was found in NMG is very relieving to know that neither of these runners will lose a match because Ganon decides that he wants to just be invisible all day. For those of you who don't know, the teleports for Ganon and the patterns for Aghanim are fixed to the seed, at least their initial seed in. Obviously, if you die, the pattern just keeps moving forward. But that is a nice little addition to the randomizer.
Agreed. Really takes out the possibility of RNG affecting a race. And Freddeh missed the torch glitch, but it won't matter too much. He's already got 3 arrows into Ganon. Just needs 1 more. So he's going to dodge the fire bat, light some torches, slash the pig, stick an arrow in him. He's done. And GG to Freddeh. He is going to finish up the official speed racing TV time of 1 hour 34 and 3 seconds, which is a very, very solid time for really any seed, but this one certainly could have been a lot worse. And as we will now switch over to kind of follow along with Cfalcon as he works his way through Turtle Rock, we do have Freddeh here to join us in the chat as the victor of this race. Freddeh, congratulations. Great job pulling it back to a one-on-one in this series and forcing that decisive game 3. And tell us your thoughts on this seed and your performance here tonight.
Well, the first seed I felt like the seed beat me, the seed I felt like I beat the seed, so I guess I will take it. I felt pretty happy when I got go mode without ever having to dip Swamp Palace, so I wasn't sure if I was ahead or not, but I had a decent feeling that I was, which helped calm my nerves.
As you guess, or might guess by the difference in the finish times you might be seeing as Falcon is still working on Turtle Rock, he did unfortunately also make that swamp play in addition to a couple other things, but really the main thing was that you ended up doing that pod dip prior to heading up to Dark Death Mountain, so you were able to check that ether tablet. Tell us about that point in the race.
That basically turned into I didn't want to make the same mistake I did last time and leave my Turtle Rock access in pod before going up to Turtle Rock, and it turned out to be a very similar deal, though not quite as trolly as the last seed. Outside of that, I had to do EP for the crystal, and I figured, okay, I may as well clear pod. And when I got the book, I was like, okay, well, I won't finish it because I can just go check pedestal now and check those chests and skull that I haven't gotten to yet. Once that was not a thing anymore, I'm like, okay, let's just go check Death Mountain because I hadn't been there yet, and there was a lot of items. So the fact that I was the very first one was like, oh, okay, pod was very required. Cool.
Now, in this kind of race where you're already down 0-1 in the series, you started off kind of early with that Thieves Town play. It was a pendant, not even a green pendant, and you went in there and you got the Ice Rod, which of course is required, but then you went to the back and you found nothing there. Did that start eating at you a little bit? Did you start thinking like, oh no, it's already happening? Or were you able to kind of compartmentalize that and just say it's fine as long as I don't make any further major mistakes?
I don't really count that as a mistake. You're going in there with boots, and there was 2 items in the back. Those could have easily been anything useful. Ice Rod doesn't really lead you anywhere, other than it's nice to have. I was happy to see Ice Rod for sure. And I kind of went there with my goal of doing pretty much everything around Dark World, except for, I guess I ended up skipping Skull Woods. I didn't feel like doing Skull Woods since it was a crystal. And the blacksmith chainsaw, I didn't have mitts at the time. It was a interesting mitts location, by the way. It was sure fun. Also, shoutouts to the library having 2 really good items in a row.
Yeah, no, the mitts location, that's a really good one. And also, just to be clear, not to suggest at all that finishing Thieves Town was a mistake, but rather that obviously, if you did subsequently make a mistake, then it might have added up. But certainly,
I would have felt more behind. Yeah, it was a useless check, and it did take time, but I wasn't too worried about it as I kept kind of finding things littered throughout my routing around. I didn't really have a big length of time where I didn't find anything. I guess you can kind of count Ice Palace as that, but that ended up being Upgrade City.
Swords.
No, not only 2 swords. 2 swords, powder, and then I believe red mail was off of that.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So you guys could have got 2 swords and 2 safety items out of just Ice Palace. So I do not regret doing that at all.
Yeah, no, in fact, your opponent made very, very similar plays the entirety of the seed, with the exception of he dipped out of Thieves Town before finishing it, and then
Okay. Did
That
you
was
find the
pretty
mitts
much it,
before me then?
actually. Sorry, say again.
Did you find the mitts before me then?
Actually,
No, it was like the same time.
Oh, okay.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Nice. Good times.
It was really close and a ton of fun to watch, and really, the deciding play did end up being, again, similar to the previous seed. The deciding play ended up being that you went to pod before going to Death Mountain, and he went to Death Mountain before going to pod. And
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
So the moral of the story is that you always go to pod before Death Mountain.
Always, every time.
Always.
Except for when you
yeah,
don't.
definitely. Right, except for the times that you don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. I remember Lamp being at a trolley location that seed too. Wasn't it in like
Blacksmiths.
was it Blacksmith? Oh, that's right, it was Blacksmith. And then where was King? Shooting 2 seeds in a row makes it really hard to remember what seed had what trolls.
Well, talk to us about that a little bit. Like, did you have trouble keeping track of like things in your head during that seed? Do you use like a location tracker to try to minimize that effect or anything like that?
I use the location tracker just because I'm really used to doing it and I don't really waste any time checking things off just because I'm so used to doing it that way. And it helps me organize my thoughts a lot better that way because I don't have a great memory, so having something to help my memory is always a good idea. Like that, the first game actually, talking about memory, I didn't see that I hadn't done Zora for pretty much the longest time. So I had never like made my way up there, thinking I only had like Blacksmith then. I'm like, oh, no, I still have Zora. I hadn't done Zora yet. I just didn't see it on the screen. Then, of course, that led me to see the fun chain of events leading to the boots and the mirror. That seed. The seed won the first game.
Cfalcon?
I think he's I don't know what's going on. Is typing
Okay.
out GG or something?
Possibly. Reminder for people who don't know, there's like a delay. So that might be why they might make weird actions like that. Oh, hey, why is he pausing this late?
He was typing a bit, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
probably
It
what
looks
was
like they
happening.
had a little bit of an exchange during the time after Freddie finished, where it was chatting about what got to Cfalcon, and alas, there was the fire rod. It seems to
Yep.
be the fire rod.
Yep.
Fire
Third
rod,
day.
and I quote again.
Yep.
Apparently that held him up the first time. Ooh, I didn't notice sub 3 menu time.
Oh,
Very
nice.
dude.
132.47 for the in-game, and only one Cfalcon
I'd like
haven't. Sorry, go
so
ahead.
so who in chat remembers what my collection rate was last game? Or the first game? Spoiler, it was exactly the same.
Oh. Huh. How
And-
interesting.
Yeah.
What a
and I-
video game.
And I finished, 30 minutes faster? Something like that.
I don't know if we
Ugh.
actually saw your collection rate on the stream.
I think it came up. I think it came up
Okay.
right before they.
I was told to wait until it came up, and I waited a while even after it came
Yeah.
up, so it should have.
Yeah, I believe it did. So in the meantime, Cfalcon has collected his big key from chest number 11, and he is, or sorry, 12. I wanted it to be 11, but no, it's 12. He is going to begin the ascent of Ganon's Tower. Playing pretty well and just wrapping this up. Obviously, it doesn't really matter how long it takes him, so there's no pressure at this point. He can just play his game, but it's nice to just get a little bit of a palate cleanser here at the end. Just finish strong. Get a time. Might as well finish the seed. You're here to play the video game anyway, and then he'll be able to kind of mentally reset for game 3, which will be tomorrow night. Correct, Freddie?
Correct. I want to say it's a little bit earlier than the first one today. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right, that'll be the time that you guys will start. Looks like the broadcast is scheduled for 7:30 p.m.
Oh, right.
Eastern Daylight Time.
Looking at the
Now,
wrong
that channel will be determined in the near future, hopefully, but it's not up to date yet. However, you can, of course, click on, do !! ALTTPR, I think. in
Yep.
the chat to get the schedule.
Alternatively, exclamation mark schedule during any event will bring up both the current matches event schedule and the greater speed gaming schedule, in which you
Nice.
can see great tournaments like Bloodborne and Mega Man and more Mega Man. Soon Metroid, Super Metroid any percent in about a month. Celeste starts in a month. Another tournament I can't remember is starting in a month. It's lots of great events coming to Speed Gaming.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff on these channels. Make sure, of course, to follow all of the Speed Gaming channels. We have Speed Gaming, the main channel, Speed Gaming, just Speed Gaming. And then there's also numeric, numbered channels. Wow, words. Speed Gaming 2 all the way through Speed Gaming 6. So make sure to follow those. And in addition, for randomizer specific content, make sure to follow twitch.tv slash ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 4, all of which exist and have tournament matches on an ongoing basis.
This is by far going to be the busiest week of the entire tournament. For those of you who maybe like Link to the Past, but also liked the other games and feel a little crowded. This should be, as of next week, games will be cut in half, and then a half again, and again and again, until we get to the finals in about 8 weeks from now.
Not only will the pool of players decrease, but the stakes will continually increase. Already in these matches, we're seeing some very tense and enjoyable matches between some really skilled runners, but it's just going to get better and better as we continue here. So Cfalcon closing in on Moldorm 2 here. Freddie will throw you, another couple questions while we're just watching Cfalcon finish up here. And, one thing kind of on my mind is for Game 3, coming up tomorrow, you took a loss earlier tonight, and then you came right back in the very next race, and you managed to even the score, and in pretty convincing fashion as well, as you managed to really do a very solid job with this scene that could have just taken you so much longer. So, having had one kind of each, now you've got a Game 3 coming up. How are you going to approach it? Are you going to change anything up? Are you going to, look to do any kind of special prep, or are you just going to try to stay the course?
I'm gonna do what I did in Game 2 and not do what I did in Game 1.
The go to where the items are and not where the items aren't strategy.
Correct. That is the correct way to play this game.
The John Madden strats, I like it.
Yep. I will play to win the game.
Also, shout outs
Yeah,
to the worst addendum pattern I've seen.
Oh jeez! Don't remind me. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, that was what the shout out was.
Bunch of blue balls and like I could have done that better, but that was so awful.
I think they had. I think someone in chat posted like the numbers, and it was like 2 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think Falcon's gonna actually get this in at least one run sooner than me. Nope. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm blank behind your guys' streams, I think.
Yeah.
Only a little bit,
So,
not too bad.
it's okay.
All right, well, that does it for Aga 2. Cfalcon will be heading to fight the Big Pig, and we'll hopefully have a nice quick time of him with that gold sword and those silver arrows. So we should be seeing his dot done and his GGs pretty shortly. He doesn't opt to wait after he's gotten his 6 swings in. He just keeps slashing him, possibly in some frustration maybe, but he gets all his hits in. And there goes phases 1 and 2. Does have a little bit of a scary time here, but he's all right. Three out of 4 hits. Just waiting for some teleports to get one more. There it is. And now we will move on to the final phase. We'll see whether Cfalcon opts to. Nope, he will do the same as Freddeh and just not worry too much about that torch glitch.
Yeah, let's call that what I did, definitely.
Oh, this is a beautiful setup for Cfalcon. He could get a triple here, almost, but there's the fourth arrow, and he is done with the Ganon. Will cross the bridge momentarily and finish up. GG to him.
Nice, yeah.
GG's to Cfalcon.
Yep, there it is. His SRTV time is 1 hour 49:41. So GG, unfortunately taking the loss here, but with his previous win in Game 1, he is also 1-1, as is Freddeh, and he will have the opportunity to put a fork in Freddeh tomorrow if he's able to pull off another victory. And we should be joined by him in just a few. He is sitting tight and getting some stuff squared away real quick.
One thing I think that people may want to know about. 1 second, let me just. On July 8th, so I think the second week of July, okay, it's recorded July. That week of July, there will actually be if anyone's ever heard of the Frame Savers, a good podcast, they're actually doing an ALTTP episode after GDQ. So I'd keep your ears out for that. It's going to be Andy being on that. So I think people would probably be very interested in that. And here's Cfalcon.
Indeed.
Hello, Cfalcon.
Hello.
Hello.
GG on the 2 races today, of course, taking the victory in Game 1 and unfortunately taking the loss in Game 2. So you're at 1-1 now. Go ahead and tell us your thoughts about both seeds. Maybe specifically more the second one, but really anything you've got on your mind.
Well, I think my first seed was summed up perfectly in my file names of what was that, because that's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
But the second seed, trying to remember, I think it was right before the race I said something about making sure I don't dip too quickly out of a pendant dungeon. Well, maybe I should take my own advice and add a little bit of a disclaimer to it, and in all caps, but not Swamp Palace. Because that was full clear, and not finding a fire rod there was about the worst thing I could have done.
I mean,
Yeah, it feels bad.
in this seed, sure, but I honestly do think that it was a fine decision. Like in a vacuum, not being able to watch the other player, I think that you made the right decision. It's just like it was like accumulation of choices from Freddeh that led him to make that the better choice for him. But you definitely made the better choice in your situation to go to Swamp.
Yeah, it just
Swamp.
stunk that didn't work out, but that happens.
It could have easily, though. That's 7 items in that friggin' place. Like, I was taunting me the entire game with Seed, like, well, I could go there, but no, I'll do a couple crystals first. Okay, I'll go do pod since I'm already Eastern. Oh, cool, book. Well, I guess I can go do everything up on Death Mountain now. Oh, hey, I'm in go mode. Oh, wait, I don't know if a Quake is needed for the other thing yet, or for TR yet.
There was a moment where you guys actually had all 3 pendants open before you could do any crystals other than Hera. You had, and I guess you.
Yeah.
I checked it immediately after I got.
Yeah, like the moment you had the lamp from the Smiths, it was suddenly you had pod, you had flippers from Thieves Town, so you could do Swamp and Thieves Town was open. So it was like,
Yep.
ooh. Now I do have to ask, Freddeh, you went immediately to check the pedestal, but you didn't kill Helmasaur while you were there.
Because I could check pedestal.
Okay.
If I didn't get the book, I would have killed Helmasaur.
Okay. I'm just thinking, like, if you had the... okay, okay, I see. So you would have killed Helmasaur if you didn't find the book. It just felt like you could have gone there. But that's okay.
So Cfalcon, for the decisive play in the second match, it was actually very let's try that again. It was actually very similar to the first game, where Freddie chose to go to Dark Death Mountain before going to Pod. And in this game, Freddie went to Pod first, and you went to Dark Death Mountain before Pod. So tell us about that decision that you made and what you were thinking at that time.
Well, I think it was at that point when I got the mitts or whatever. I'm a player that loves to know information. So usually as soon as I can figure out what medallion I need to get into Myron and T-Rock, I kind of want to know. And I think that's why I went up there, plus the item locations. And I don't think there was even anything on Dark Death Mountain this time, but...
Yeah.
Did you go back to check Hera Basement when I went up there the second time?
No, and here's the funny thing. I was about to do that until Fire Rod fell from the Ether Tab, and I'm like, oh, well, okay.
That was my path as well. I was like, okay.
I think the best part is, and this is why I'm glad Mike's and all that are not on during the race, is that I got the book at a pod, and I said, uh-oh, that's expletive trouble. And apparently I need to listen to my own intuition next time, because I was
exactly how
absolutely
I
right.
felt. It's exactly how I felt when I opened that first chest in Pod on the first seed. When I look at him like... I was thought about doing Pod before going to Death Mountain. Like, it's a pendant. I already did EP. And now I'll go up Death Mountain first. Probably or you do the TR play or something. Then, of course, the very first chest in Pod is the Ice Rod. I'm like, I think I bombed it. I wasn't very happy.
There's a very interesting pair of seeds that the two of you guys played. The first one, of course, giving Cfalcon the advantage, and the second one giving Freddie the advantage thanks to those plays. But otherwise, you guys ended up taking very, very similar routes. And so I guess I'll ask both of you, but I'll start with Cfalcon. Did you feel that the seed was kind of, either one, was kind of apparent, like what the correct thing was to do, even if it was a crappy thing to do? Or did you feel more like they were kind of really messing with you?
Well, and I think I mentioned this to Freddie, the only obvious thing I felt in the first seed was I had a pretty strong feeling in that first seed that flippers were in Turtle Rock, because whenever boots are out in a really nice place like that, you have to work forever to get them. And my problem was I couldn't, because I didn't have the Fire Rod for the longest on the first seed, I just couldn't get to where I thought they were. And when they dropped from Trinex, I was like, that is the least surprising thing in this seed so far. But honestly, the second seed, I didn't think there was anything really, I wouldn't say there was anything too obvious, but I don't think there's anything too, tricky either, other than the Fire Rod in this case.
Yeah, I was expecting him in Turtle Rock too, honestly, and I was right. Unfortunately, I went into that Ice Rod and cleared everything else. I'm like, well, there's one item, but I have 2 items in this pendant, 2 items in this pendant. Oh, hey, I got 2 items in this pendant because I can do the pedestal after.
That feel when.
Just, series of unfortunate events when I should have just taken the Ice Rod and finished Turtle Rock. Oh well.
Also, Freddie, you're apparently a bomb magician today.
Yeah.
You like my bomb routing? Did he get the bomb off of that rat, or just a new one?
No, we're talking about when you clipped through the wall, and then you ended up jumping off through the little you basically clipped into the wall.
Are you talking about when I was going to Catfish? Yeah.
Yes.
That was I don't know what happened there. I'm just
that was
the thing that happened. I hope I didn't break the game.
You did essentially a mirror clip, but with the force of a bomb.
But with a bomb.
And then later you attempt. So I made the point of you clipped the bomb clipped you, and then you clipped a bomb in a wall because it just did not launch.
Oh yeah,
that was
trying to open randomizer room. What happened?
Oh yeah. I don't know what happened. I accidentally threw it up, and then it stayed there. I'm not sure why it stayed there, but it stayed there.
Yeah, magneted the wall. It was quite interesting.
I was really worried that you were gonna be bombed into the warp tile there for a second.
Then when the big key showed up, no, that could have been really bad.
Yup.
I was worried about that as well.
Yeah, I do have a question. If you had touched that tile, would you have gone to the right side after? after Armos, or would you have gone back to Randomizer room?
I
Just
honestly probably would have just
because-
mirrored and gone full right side to
Yeah.
Armor. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's-
full. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what I would have
Unintentional
done.
DM rat.
That's hard, dude.
Anger.
Hard to say.
That was pretty interesting. You did some bomb saying there. That was
Oh man. So, all right. So the series now is 1-1, and we'll wrap it up with one more question. I did already ask Freddie this one, but we'll throw it now at Cfalcon. Having won the first game and then taken the loss in the second game, and you are now at 1-1. Are you going to change up how you approach Game 3 at all, or are you going to do any special prep, in the interim time that you have to, try to take home that win and move on to the second round?
I don't really think I have any special prep. I mean, we're playing our third game tomorrow night, so I don't have much time to really do anything. I think I just kind of need to stick to what I normally do, and see if it just works out. I mean, it's really all I can do at this point.
Fair game plan. I did receive some tips from chat that I will impart to you, and the big one is the key to victory is to defeat Ganon before the other guy defeats Ganon. So
Really?
hopefully this helps you.
I'm pretty sure what they said was go make the risks or dip into the pendant dungeons that have the items and not the pendant dungeons that don't have the items.
Yeah.
I saw that advice as well.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
important advice.
Yeah, I need to take that lesson apparently.
Yeah.
Well, look. All 3 races I've lost in the tournament have been because of Fire Rod. If I can just start with Fire Rod in every seed, I'm good.
I love Fire Rod Start. It's one of my favorites.
it's
Bo's my
fast.
favorite.
It is fast.
Bomb's my favorite.
I like Bo. Bo
I
is
need to practice bombs again. If we get bombs tomorrow, you probably just win automatically because I'll just screw it up 10 million times.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the best at the bomb start either. It could be very interesting if that happens.
All right, so now we're gonna all pull for bomb start tomorrow. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Rip.
man. All right. Well, thank you both for the 2 races tonight, both of which were very entertaining, and for joining us tonight. We'll go ahead and wrap it up because it is 11 p.m. Pacific time, 2 a.m. Eastern time, and we've got a full schedule of randomizer matches.
Oh
tomorrow
man,
as
do
well.
we have a full schedule tomorrow?
Tell us all about it.
Easy.
I have not actually looked directly at the schedule.
Oh
But you
no!
can see-
Oh, I put you on point. Oh no!
You totally did. I just know because I saw that there's lots of needs tomorrow. Even the trackers have needs, and that never happens.
Well, I do have the
But
schedule up.
we literally have matches all day.
That is correct, and they start at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time with CDV versus Jigheart. That is going to be on Speed Gaming, so definitely check that out. There's a ton of other ones. I don't want to read them all off because I will be reading for a long time, going all the way until 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time when I will be playing Willard J. Bradley in Game 2 of that matchup. So there's so many good matches tomorrow. Make sure to tune in.
Yep.
Follow
And
other
that's
They're
channels.
almost
I
all on
mentioned.
speed gaming channels too.
That's not even counting the matches that aren't ALTTP randomizer on the channels tomorrow.
Indeed.
Also, make sure to follow these 2 runners as they put on a great show tonight. And they will put on another show for you tomorrow at, if I recall, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Channel to be determined, but we'll find out tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled. Well, that's
Yeah.
it for us. Zelda,
That
it's
is
been a
it.
pleasure commentating with you, man.
Yes, thank you very much, Vol'jin. It was wonderful.
We're going to extend the good old shout out to our man Bacon, tracking for us tonight, helping out, making sure that we knew what the heck was going on at any given time. And also, of course, my co-commentator, the runners, the Speed Gaming staff for making sure that we have these channels available to bring you these races, and all the tournament staff as well. And Zonas, feel free to sign us off tonight.
Yeah, everyone have a wonderful night. See you on Speed Gaming next time.